All right, hello everyone, and welcome to Midwestern Career College Podcast Connections. My name is Geovanny Mayorga. I am the host for the podcast, and today we are happy to welcome two new guests to the podcast. They are Jihoon and Ethan Archer-Helke. Welcome. How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Yeah, doing great. Enjoying this little warm-up we've had in Chicago.
Wonderful to have you. Now, you both work for our international department. And let's see, Jihoon, you are the Associate Director of SVP Compliance, is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Nice. And then Ethan, you are the International Student Advisor, and you both are designated school officials. Our episode today revolves more around speaking to our international students about, what you guys do, the resources you provide, and anything that can help them, and obviously our potential students overseas who are interested in coming here and studying at Midwestern Career College. So let's start by talking about what you guys do. So Jihoon, as the Associate Director, why don't you start talking about what a DSO or what your department does for our students?
Well, as a department, we are making sure we're in compliance with the government, all the regulations and stuff. So our programs are authorized, approved to be offered for international students. And for international students, basically we are here to make their lives easier. And there are a lot of things they need to take care of themselves, and I have to remember. So such as affluent regulations that's applied for international students. Also, maybe we offer resources as well about driver's license, tax, and then moving to a new location, changing their programs as well, and we are here to help them with those matters.
Since obviously we're in the business of recruiting students to our program, help students understand, prospective students understand what the process is for applying for a student visa, and that process, what does that look like?
Well, first they need to be accepted to the program, and there's an enrollment, the admissions process that they need to go through. They need to, the prospective international students need to provide certain documents to us, such as their education record or the identification, such as passport. And they also need to get a visa first, because they are going to be under that F1 visa while they're studying in the United States. So therefore, we provide them a document called I-20. And with the I-20, they make an appointment with a U.S. embassy in their country, and they have an appointment, a visa appointment. If they get it, they get the F1 visa, and they come to the U.S. and start their education with us.
Nice. Ethan, you are, you both are DSOs, but you work perhaps a little bit more closely with the students. Is that correct?
Yeah, so my role is a little bit more student-facing. So I handle a lot of the day-to-day operations with our students, from registration, because that is a requirement in the CVIS database. That is where we keep student records, and that is where the government has access to see those records as well. I also am there to help students with getting documentation for applying for a driver's license. I update their records if they change their address. I process their data if they have some sort of big change in general. And yeah, that's the majority of what I do.
What are some of the resources that we have for our current students that are already enrolled in the program? What follow-ups they have to do with you, either of you? What are some of the resources that we provide for them?
Yeah, so we provide mainly resources regarding things they may need in the U.S. So for instance, student health insurance. We have resources regarding that. Like I said, we have documents that we need to provide if they want to get a driver's license, if they want to travel internationally, which many of them do, they are international students, then they need to get a signature on their I-20 from us. What else? Do you have anything to add, Jihoon?
I think traveling is an important, I'm assuming a lot of students want to perhaps travel within, to travel within the state that you're in, do you need any particular documentation?
Not really. You just need to bring the basic documents such as your identification, obviously. You can use passport for international students. You may use passport. And you may use, if you have a driver's license in Illinois, if you were based in Illinois, that because of that. And that's...
And if you want to travel to a different state?
Don't really need any permission from DSOs. It's just domestically, right, within the United States.
Mm-hmm.
You just, as I said, the basic documents and making sure you're not skipping your classes. You need to be in classes when semester is in, and other than that, you don't need special permission. But it's a different story when you travel internationally. And then, as Ethan explained, you need a certain kind of endorsement from the DSOs, and for that, we require certain documents, a passport, plane ticket, pretty much, and you need to show the I-20 signed by us when you're returning to the United States. So that's the big difference between traveling in the side of the United States domestically and traveling internationally. Those are two different things, yeah.
Right, and how do students maintain their active student visa?
Oh, it's kind of complicated and quite a lot, and that is why we're here. So international students don't need to think about all of that, so they can just focus on their education. But one of the things that's really important is that they need to be enrolled full-time, all time. So for our programs, for example, we have ESL certificate level programs, so they need to be enrolled at least 18 clock hours per week. And for degree programs, we have business, marketing, accounting, and IT, and healthcare programs as well in MRI, sonography, and stuff. So they need to be enrolled 12 credit hours per week. So that's the requirement. And the other requirements include when they move to a new location, they need to report to the government, and for example, they're changing their education whenever they're making major changes to their status and their educational level. Programs, maybe schools, they need to report to DSO so we can update them correctly in the system that we use to communicate with the government. And that's also one of the requirements, important requirements to maintain the F1 status as well.
Yeah, very important for students to understand what their requirements are to maintain visa.
And we do understand that, and as I said, that's why we're here. The DSOs, as schools and DSOs, we're here to help with those matters again. So they don't need to think about all that while they're trying to focus on their education and getting a degree they wanted. So,
an important, I think, resource and perhaps questions that students have are some of the protections that we offer or that are offered to international students, like Title IX. Ethan, you're the Title IX coordinator. Why don't you explain what Title IX is and how that affects students and protects the student?
Yeah, so I am also the Title IX coordinator, as explained. And what is Title IX? So Title IX is a law that basically protects students from sexual discrimination. Specifically, sexual misconduct is a common way that is referred to. And what is that protection? It basically says if a student is sexually harassed or experiences some form of sexual misconduct, then the college has to do something about that, all right? Has to take some sort of action. So if a student does experience some type of sexual misconduct, then they can report that to me as the Title IX coordinator. and they can file a complaint. And then the college is required to investigate that and make some sort of resolution so that it does not happen again. And if, for some cases, it may be criminal, then we may need to get authorities involved.
Is the process confidential?
So the process is confidential in certain cases, okay? So we do have a confidential advisor as required by Illinois law for Title IX cases. So if a student reports sexual misconduct to the confidential advisor only, then they can request that information be kept confidential. And that confidential advisor then will not share that with anyone else at the college or anyone else in general. However, that is the only person who is allowed to keep that information confidential. Most other employees of the college are actually mandatory reporters. And if they hear information about sexual misconduct, they are required to actually report that to the Title IX coordinator, who will then decide if an investigation needs to take place.
Wonderful. It's important for students to understand that they do have some protections. Should students wish to transfer from one college or one program to another, are there anything that they need to do specifically?
Yeah. So for transferring between colleges, let's say they earned their associate degree from MCC and they want to transfer to a master's degree program or something like that. Or if they finished their ESL certificate at MCC and they want to move to an associate degree program at MCC. Either way, there is a process that needs to take place. Coming back to the I-20 document, which is basically the most important document regarding their status, that does need to be updated. In the case of if they're changing their education level, so let's say they are going from the ESL program at MCC to an associate degree, then they need to apply for that new degree program. And once they do that, they submit the required documents, then they get a new I-20 for that new program. And for transfers, it's very similar. However, for transfers, we do need to receive the acceptance letter from the school they are transferring to so that we can transfer their record in SEVIS, that government database that I mentioned before. And then the new school will have their record and be able to issue that I-20 for them.
That's great. Wonderful information for all current and prospective students. As we finish up, anything else you want to finish up with, Jihoon?
What should I say? I would just finish it with how impressive and great the Midwestern Career College is. I mean, if I may. Is it okay? Okay, yes. Sure. So we are currently wrapping up at 2026 winter registration, and we have a lot of new students. And right now we're reaching up to 500 international students. For a school size this, we are relatively smaller than all the big universities, but number 500 only international students is impressive. So we are very excited to meet all of them and to help them, advise them, and to just have a good time on the campus. And one thing I'm really happy is that it's a great opportunity for us, even staffs, members, to meet so many people from different countries all around the world. We have students, 500 students from more than 50 different countries and over the country, all the globe. Just amazing thing, and I just wanted to share that my excitement, and I kind of wanted to just tell you guys that we're very diverse and that I'm very excited and happy about that.
Yeah, thank you. That's important
Yeah.
for students to understand, especially for
Mhm.
prospective students. The culture that we build around here, obviously is unique to our college, and I think every student appreciates that. So thank you for that. Ethan, anything you want to finish up with?
I would just say more of the same, that it has been quite the pleasure to work with such a diverse student body. Just learning about the countries that all our students are from has been a really fascinating thing. And I would like to welcome students from every country around the world, basically.
Wonderful. How can they reach you guys? Jihoon, how do the students reach you?
There are many ways, but for our students that we currently have, obviously we have emails, dso@mccollege.edu. We have our personal emails as well, and we have phone number 312-336-9000, and also I think, but the other way is our social media. So we have the Midwestern Career College,
Yeah.
and for international students only, specifically.
Exactly.
We have Instagram and we have Facebook as well. So we have tons of posts regarding the on-campus activities, as basically school life, traveling, good things to do in Chicago, which is an awesome city. And I would like, if you're watching this or listening, it's a podcast, I would really recommend you check out our social media. You can probably search Midwestern Career College on Instagram and Facebook as well. I'll see you there.
Yeah, Ethan, how do they reach you? What are your office hours?
So for current students, our office hours are generally from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Thursday, so you can expect one of the DSOs will be there. Sometimes we do have meetings or other things we need to attend to, so we do recommend making an appointment. And like Jihoon said, email dso@mccollege.edu, phone number 312-236-9000. And again, social media is a great way to learn more about the college and get in contact with people here.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing what you do. Thank you for informing our students. It was a pleasure speaking to you. I've certainly learned a lot about what you guys do. Certainly hope students now understand a little bit more about what you do, and prospective students what we do at the college. It was a pleasure having you in the podcast. Thank you for being a part of it, and want to thank everyone for listening. Remember to catch us on YouTube for video, and for audio we're on Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, Spotify, so you can find us pretty much anywhere. So thank you. We've come to the end of the episode. Thank you guys for being here, and we'll talk to you on the next episode.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.